Hey, if you're an older golfer, don't give up your dream of hitting the long ball just yet, because there's hope for you. And I'm going to show you right after this. Hey everyone, I'm Steve from Hit It Longer. I'm here today with Walt. How's it going, Walt? Hey, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you can get a notification of all the new videos I come out with. Today we're going to be working on a power sequence that's worked very well to get Walt's club head speed and distance way up. What would you say that your distance was when we started all this?
About 180.
About 180, okay. And what would be your average about now, would you say?
220, 230.
220, 230. So 40 or 50 yards. And what's your longest drive that you've ever hit now?
267.
267. So what was your longest drive back in the day?
Probably 200.
200. So potentially he's up, you know, well, that's 67 yards difference in his best hit. And how young of a guy are you now?
I'm 71.
71 years old, able to hit the ball way over 230, sometimes 250, and we had that one ball that was 267 yards. So you can see there's hope, and I'm going to take you through the progression we like to do sometimes, and hopefully you get a lot of benefit out of this. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so our first drill, we're going to use this 1/2-inch surgical tubing, and we're going to use it to get a good stretch on the backswing, make sure the backswing is really long and nice and wide as well. So I'm going to help stretch him out like I've done for a while. Take a normal grip, okay, and start walking this way now. Make your stance narrow, and we're going to go into position here. So now what we're going to do is try to improve on this by getting wider. So we're going to be straightening this arm, but keeping your bow and getting a little bit flatter here. That's perfect right there. So you feel a pretty good stretch right here? Mm-hmm. Okay, so to increase the stretch here, and let me know if you need a break, just start inching your feet away from the pole so you get more of a stretch out of the tubing.
Yeah.
That's good right there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to help take him a little bit farther, just a little at a time, just small bounces this way, hold him. Now that's pretty good flexibility for someone Walt's age. You okay?
Yep.
Nice and wide, arms getting deep, and the shoulders are past 90 degrees. So those are the three characteristics we're looking for. And now you can relax. That's terrific. So you can see that you are not always like this.
Oh no.
So I can remember pushing on Walt's hips at the beginning, and it was like might as well have been pushing on this wall over here. Very stiff, very tight. So if you are a little bit older and you think that there's no hope just because you're just tight, you don't have the flexibility anymore, you can make headway on it. You had to work on it pretty consistently though, for over a period of months, not days or weeks. You've got, it's a process, it's not an event. You're not just suddenly going to wake up and go out and get really flexible. But I can assure you that Walt was one of the stiffest guys that I had ever met at the beginning. And now you can see that's, you know, I defy you to show me another person in their 70s besides like Gary Player or somebody who can show the range of motion that Walt just did on that stretch. I mean, that was fun. That's phenomenal what you've put together now. Okay, so we're going to segue into the next drill. We're going to work on now taking this length and width of swing and combine it with rhythm, and we're going to do a second drill. So now for our next drill, we're going to swing the orange whip. Walt's going to try to maintain the same length and width. He's actually going to try to swing way past parallel so that he can see the club in his left eye, because so we call this the John Daly drill sometimes. He's going to take it way past parallel, but stay in rhythm and stay in balance at the same time. Go ahead and give it a couple tries right over the tee. First, slow without a lot of speed. Terrific. Try not to overdo the foot on this one. Just foot straight up. Try to underdo the foot. So your foot went a little too far again. Okay, now we're going to turn on the blue radar here that we've got. And what Walt's going to do is he's going to start to apply speed, but very specific to him. He's going to let the speed just build very slowly from the top, and he's going to feel like the real heavy hit at the very bottom and stay in rhythm. We're going to do a set of 5, Walt, and you're going to climb the ladder, starting with what feels like 0 effort, and then you're going to end up at a fairly high effort at the end. And I'm going to read off the speed on the blue radar here. So this is the no effort swing, 86 miles an hour. That's awfully fast. Now a little faster. Okay, that's 88. Beware that you don't add the acceleration in too soon. Okay, that's 83. We're going to do 2 more. We're heading for 90. 88 again, and 1 more, 90 for the $1 million. Okay, 88 again. I know you've been higher than that, but you've been 90 or 92 before. But remember, this is way heavier than a normal driver. Now, what would you say your clubhead speed was on a driver when we first began? It was something like 78?
Yeah, 78 or 80.
78 at best. And now we've actually recorded Walt at 98 miles an hour clubhead speed with a ball in the way, and 102 miles an hour with a dry swing. So what a difference. Okay, so that's the orange whip drill that we do to keep the length in the whip going. Okay, so now the next step that we always do after we do the orange whip club is we'll go to his driver and we'll repeat the same exercise again. So Walt, you're going to do 6 swings in a ladder, a step ladder drill, where the first swing feels like total cruising speed, relaxed, almost no effort at all. And the 6th swing will be about as fast as you can swing. Again, keeping the principles of going super long and super wide, like we worked on in the stretching cord exercise and the orange whip drill. Okay, so the first swing will be no effort at all. Okay, that's 85. And now we're going to start to push a little bit faster at a time. 95 already. Okay, let's go a little faster now. 94. 3 more swings. 98. Terrific. Let's see if we can get the century mark today. 96. And one last try. $1 million for 100. Okay, I'm going to give you one more since you hit the tee so much. That was only 92. Let's miss the tee. Go! 99. He almost got to the century mark today. Now, he has before, but you don't necessarily break your record every day. Certain days you just feel springier than others, but his record on here is 102, so 99 is not too shabby. The next step in the progression is, and we always have to make our pinky swear. Remember our pinky swear. Okay. Make our pinky swear. Now we're going to hit 5 consecutive golf balls with that same high level swing. Right. And all we care about is the speed monitor. In this case, I do have the TrackMan set up, so we're going to see the legit speed on this. This blue radar tends to be a little bit generous. We're going to use the orange box this time instead of the blue box, the big orange box. The TrackMan will be here, and I'm going to read you off the speed. So it's going to be 5 or 6 of these again. And in this exercise, what it's important is that we just focus on the speed, duplicating the length and width, because Walt tends to get a little bit short on his backswings. So his two focuses, his emphasis is going to be on nice and long and wide, and then putting the hammer down at the bottom with the heavy blow waiting for the bottom. So that keeps him in rhythm that way. But we just don't care about where the ball's going to go. Yeah, right. That's really hard to hit balls not knowing, not caring. Right. So, hell, he might top it, he might whiff it, he might bank it off the wall, and it just doesn't matter. That's why we made our pinky pact. I'm not going to tell anybody, Walt. No one's going to know. Right? You and I are going to be the only ones who ever know if you hit a bad shot. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, so he's going to tee it up. All right, we'll do one practice swing, not worrying about form at all, just length and speed, no form involved. Speed is a skill that we can build independently of all other skills. Okay, you ready? This is going to be super long and super fast. Wow, And he just happened to catch it beautifully. Right down the pipe. Okay, we're at 91.7 on the first attempt. 91.7 miles an hour. Now you're gonna, all you do from here is you now push a mile an hour at a time, even faster. Wow. You know, that's probably the fastest you've ever swung in front of me where you held your balance that well. Okay, 88.4. Maybe too balanced. Maybe you didn't go reckless enough, right? Okay, we have 3 more, let's go. Okay, that one didn't look to be as fast. No, it was actually faster. 92.3, so we have a new benchmark to push for. We have 3 more, and I'm gonna award you $1 million in cash at 95 miles an hour. So big and long, smash it, good. That one, it looked like you didn't care as much.
I didn't put anything in.
93.2. That one to me looked like you just didn't care as much about where it went. You just decided to swing for the fence. All right, big and long and wide, and go. Okay, just rip it. Okay, that one was at only 89.7. So let's see if we can't get to 95. We'll do a couple more. 93.2s are high. Try to press it 1 more mile an hour. Let's do this. Just can't care where it goes, huh? Just reach back big. Okay, you did set a new benchmark. You edged forward at 93.3. Terrific job. Okay, 1 more swing. Don't care where it goes. Just rip it. Long. That's the way. That's the way. All right, so you crushed it there. You almost won the $1 million. 94.8, he got that swing speed up to. So let's call that 95 miles an hour. Now we know his record drive was like so perfectly struck. His 267 ball was only done at about 92.5 miles an hour. That's how efficient he's starting to swing now when he swings smoothly. Keep in mind that this is max speed he's going for. This is not how you would swing on the course, this recklessly. It would be more to the cruising speed swing. But as I've talked about before in other videos, your top max speed and your cruising speed are always about attached to each other at 5 or 6 miles an hour apart. But you're not going to swing at cruising speed and ever raise it. It'll just stay the same. And especially as we get older and we do tend to get less flexible, our swings will get shorter and shorter and we'll start losing speed. So it's great to cultivate an extra long swing like Walt was doing in this exercise, because you don't want to lose that length. You want to be like that Tom Watson. You'd rather be like a Tom Watson where his swing stayed long and fluid. You know, he even into, what is he, 60 or 61 years old when he almost won the British Open and his swing was still going past parallel quite freely. So that's what we would like to stay. So our goal of doing this progression of exercises is getting Walt up to, let's say, 100 miles an hour in his top speed, which would make his cruising speed 94, 95 miles an hour and allow him to hit the ball, certainly into the 260s, 250s, 260s, peaking out at maybe 270 or 275 with regularity. That's going to do a lot to bring his scores down. What have your scores gone from?
Oh, from 100 to high 80s, mid 80s.
Okay, so he's dropped about 15 shots, and we know that hasn't been much of a help with the short game yet.
Short game, yeah, that's been.
We're working on it. We're working on it. So a lot of this has been that you're just reaching holes a lot easier now. You're just reaching longer holes a lot easier. You're getting some birdies, par fives, and even longer holes. You're starting to do pars and birdies on, and Walt used to have a terrific slice as well. So we're getting more fairways now, and that's really bringing the scores down, getting long and straight off the tee. So we'll get the short game there. But for now, he's dropping all these strokes strictly because he's getting longer and straighter on his shots from tee to green. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this was really helpful for you. I hope it earned a like and maybe a subscribe. We're going to work on it a little bit more after this, and maybe we'll do an update down the line. We'll have Walt really, maybe we'll have him hitting at 280 on the next video.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.